Welcome to Inspiring Narratives, your favorite channel for uplifting stories, renewed hope, and cultivating a deep connection with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Discover with me how turning to Allah can lead you to amazing changes in your life. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. We are back with another uplifting story that will, by the grace of Allah, strengthen your faith and renew your hope, inshallah. In the name of Allah, the most gracious, the most merciful, all praise is due to Allah, the Lord of the worlds, who has blessed us with countless favors and guided us to the straight path. Allahumma salli wa sallim wa barik ala Sayyidina Muhammad wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in. Get yourself your favorite drink, get comfortable, and let's get started with today's story. Today's story is a translation of a story told by Sheikh Tariq, or Professor Tariq. You may remember him from the series Be the Hero of the Next Story and The Path of Certainty. Sheikh Tariq says, I would like to share with you a beautiful and blessed story. I met the person involved in this story about a week ago at an event. A man approached me, someone I did not know at all, and began greeting me warmly. He said, Praise be to Allah, I benefited greatly from the path of certainty, and I have a story related to it. I asked him to share it, and he began saying, My wife and I experienced a delay in having children for more than 10 years. I tried everything possible, visiting doctors, seeking ruqyah, and even turning to alternative medicine, hoping to find a solution. In the end, the doctor told me there is nothing more we can do, meaning accept the reality of the situation. I was devastated. Back then, I didn't know about the path of certainty, nor did I know how to properly make dua to Allah, as I now do. One day, I was sitting with a sheikh, and he advised me to engage in istighfar, seeking forgiveness. I followed his advice for some time, but felt nothing significant. When I met the sheikh again, I told him, Sheikh, I've been doing istighfar, but nothing has changed. To my shock, the sheikh replied, Allah says in the Quran, وَيَجْعَلُ مَنْ يَشَاءَ عَقِيمًا, and He makes whoever He wills infertile. The sheikh continued, maybe you are from those people. His words pierced my heart. I had never imagined hearing such a thing from a sheikh. Instead of giving me hope, he effectively told me to accept infertility as my fate. My whole world collapsed around me. I was heartbroken and deeply distressed. It's human nature that during difficult times we search online for verses from the Quran and words of the scholars, hoping to find something that may bring us comfort. That's when I stumbled upon content related to the path of certainty, including videos and stories about the last hour on Fridays and the merits of istighfar and the Salat al-Ibrahimiyya. I started listening and learning about the concepts like divine awareness, experiencing the nearness of Allah, and other profound insights. At that moment, I realized I had found what I was looking for. I explained everything to my wife, and we decided to focus on making dua during the last hour on Fridays. During my du'ats, I would say, O Allah, yes, you are the one who makes whomever you will infertile, but you are also the one who grants whomever you will male children, female children, or both. O Allah, you are able to do all things. The most significant change was not just in my words, but in my relationship with Allah. My understanding, awareness, and feelings during dhikr, reciting Quran, and supplications transformed completely. The understanding and awareness was something I had never known before. It felt as though I had never realized the depth and beauty of this connection until now. I started experiencing inner peace, tranquility, and a profound sense of being close to Allah. When I would send peace and blessings upon the Prophet, Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, these meanings would fill my mind. Along with the hawqala and istighfar, I would focus on the meanings. Previously, I would sit for hours making istighfar and crying, but now those days are gone from my life and my wife's life also. As for the last hour on Fridays, I have never abandoned it. I made it a habit to go to a small remote masjid after Asr prayer, where I knew the caretaker. I arranged with him to remain there undisturbed until Maghrib time. Focusing solely on talking to Allah and applying everything I had learned, I kept at it persistently, feeling happiness and contentment. Then during one particular Friday, something strange happened. I felt an overwhelming sense that my dua had been answered. It wasn't a voice, but a strong internal realization that my dua had been answered. Despite this feeling, I continued. I didn't see anything. I continued. Later, while I was at work in another area far from home, my wife called and told me she didn't feel well and was in pain. I contacted a friend and requested that his wife take my wife to see a doctor. They went to the doctor, and after an hour later, my wife called me crying uncontrollably and speaking incoherently. I asked her what's wrong. She said the doctor says I'm pregnant and the pregnancy is already around 2 months along. She hadn't realized anything, only that she wasn't feeling well. He said, Subhanallah, when I traced back the timing, it aligned perfectly with that Friday when I felt that my dua had been accepted. Subhanallah. Even when the devil whispered to me, nothing happened, what was that feeling you had? I didn't realize that my dua had already been answered. We just weren't aware of it yet. My wife hadn't noticed any signs of pregnancy, not even the delay of her usual cycle. Upon reflecting on the dates, it became clear that it happened during the exact time frame when I felt my dua was accepted. Now, alhamdulillah, she is still pregnant, as this is a recent story. But here's the thing, beyond the joy of my answered dua, the greater blessing for me has been the profound transformation in my life. I was once negligent in praying at the masjid, despite my desperate need for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. I was heedless about lowering my gaze, understanding the Quran and many other things. Now I read the Quran with understanding, stand joyfully in Qiyam al-Layl, night prayers, and find delight in the remembrance of Allah, making dua to Allah, and just generally being present with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. This journey taught me an invaluable lesson. The doctor told me to give up. The sheikh, though unintentionally, implied there was no hope when he said, وَيَجْعَلُ مَنْ يَشَاءَ عَقِيمًا, and he makes whoever he wills infertile. But the path of certainty became my key. The last hour on Fridays became a turning point. So I ask you today, dear sisters and brothers, why can't you be the next story of an answered dua? Why can't you be the one whose heartfelt dua changes your life? Why can't we all become the authors of the next beautiful stories of Allah's mercy and generosity? Allah loves for us to call upon Him sincerely, the way He wants to be called upon. And He will give us what we seek, even if not in the way we imagine. May Allah guide us and bless us with the best of outcomes. This brings us to the end of this video. If you found any value in this video, don't forget to like it and share it with your loved ones. Remember, those who guide others to good are like those who do good themselves. I'd love to hear your thoughts, so do leave a comment down below. Make it something you hope to be rewarded for, inshallah. I'll see you in the next video. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.